Hello, this is LordUg. Yes, it is, and welcome. Well, it's just to the video I said I'd do that was explaining my decision on Walking Dead. Because I know some people will wonder and some people will ask, so here's the explanation. Let's get straight into it. I don't want to get too far away. I want to try and do this as quick as possible, but I do talk a lot, so we'll try. So let's go to the end. Why did I choose Kenny over Jane? Well, because for me, Jane had a lot of character flaws. Let's go back to just after we got out from away from house, when Jane helped us with Rebecca because she froze up. When we were walking to meet the others, if you remember, Jane said to Rebecca, "What are you going to do with it?" As if Jane expected Rebecca to either leave it at roadside or kill it or something. She actually asked, "What are you planning to do with it?" Then Rebecca said, "What do you mean?" And she went, "Oh, nothing, I'm just asking." So even then, to Jane, it was a case of, it's a baby, kill it, or get rid of it. It's going to be a problem. So that kind of showed one character flaw. Then we can go to Sarah in the trailer park. When we were walking to the trailer park, when we were walking and trying to find Sarah and Luke, if you remember, Jane was saying things like, "Leave it, let's just go. We can't find them. We don't know where they are. It's too late. They're dead," or whatever. Basically, give up before you even try. And then even Clem says to her, "We've got to at least try." And then when we find glasses under that zombie, she's straight away, "Oh, I'm sorry, your friend's dead. Too late." And then when you hear Sarah scream, Jane says something like, "Oh, damn." Like she's disappointed that we'd found them. And that's another character flaw. Then when we got inside the trailer with Luke and Sarah in, Sarah sat in a corner. Now, admittedly, we couldn't help her in the end, because she wasn't going to come. Well, she would have come, actually, but, spoiler, if you don't know, she does die anyway, because when the deck drops, she drops and she dies anyway. So, as I predicted, Telltale took her anyway, it doesn't matter. But still, we didn't know that at the time. I tried to talk to Jane. I tried to talk to Sarah and get her to come. Jane didn't even try. Jane was just like, "Oh, Clem, leave her. It's too late. You can't help her. Leave her." And that's because she'd seen that in her own sister. That's how her sister was, just gave up. But people are different. You can't judge every person who sits against the wall in shock as your sister, so give up. But that is how Jane looks at it. "Oh, look, it's me. My sister did that. Give up. Let's leave her." Now, I tried, but we couldn't. But in the end, I gave up. But Jane didn't even try. So then, when we can move forward to Luke. When we went back to the place with the deck, when we dropped the deck, Jane had sex with Luke, so there'd been some intimacy there, and then she decides to leave. And why does she leave? She leaves because of Sarah. But she didn't even try to help Sarah. She gave up on Sarah without even trying. But then she used Sarah as an excuse to leave. It's like shooting somebody in the head and then saying, "Well, I wish I hadn't shot them in the head." It's too late. She just never tried to save Sarah, and then later on said, "Oh, yeah, we all this with Sarah." It was probably because of Luke, but still she was using Sarah as an excuse. It's alright feeling sad about it later on, but you should have helped at the time, and she didn't even try. So the fact she was feeling sad about it later didn't matter. And then if you look at Luke fell through the ice. Now, Jane's about 60 feet away or whatever. She's quite a distance away. I'm looking at Luke. Now, she could not have seen she could not from that distance have told how close Luke was to the open part of the ice that it fell through. She could not see how thick the ice was. So she could not possibly know if Luke could have been saved or not. But she was shouting from about 50, 60 feet away, "Leave him, Clem, it's too late, it's too late." So she'd given up on Luke, even though they'd shared an intimate time. She'd given up on Luke already. And then when we got back when we got to the house, then she sat there saying, "Oh, I miss Luke," or getting upset because Luke had died. But yet again, like with Sarah, she'd never tried to come over and help. She just gave up and then felt sad about it later. All these are character flaws in my eyes. Because she never helped anyone, basically. Yeah, she went to check places out and things like that. And okay, she came back when she took off with and helped us with that Russian thing with Russian guys. But the point is, she left, and she shouldn't have done, especially for the reasons she said she left. She left because of Sarah, but she never tried to help Sarah. So she showed me that she was willing to leave when times get hard enough. But you're in a zombie apocalypse. Hard days are going to be every day. Pressure days are going to be every day. Stress days are going to be every day. And she's leaving at times when these days get bad enough. I don't need that. I've got a baby in my arms. I'm 11 years old, and she's sodding and she's running off. It's not good. And then we go through to the end part. She was winding Kenny up all the time. Alright, he knocked a foot off the dashboard. I'll be honest with you. If I was in my brother's car and I put my foot on the dashboard, he'd smack my foot off the dashboard as well. And even then, he gave a good reason for doing it. He said he couldn't see. He couldn't see to the right-hand side because her leg was in the way. So he knocked her leg down. So because he didn't want a zombie walking in front of the car from right-hand side and he couldn't see it. That makes sense. But what does she do? He tells her, she says something to him, and he says, grow up. Which isn't an insult, but then she comes back and starts going on about his family, and how he's a psycho, and how he thinks, and how everybody's going to die because of him, and how everybody's afraid, even Sarita. Now, Sarita never spoke about him to her, to Jane, behind Kenny's back. She might have wondered if what he was turning into, like when he killed Carver, to Clem, but she never spoke to Jane about it. She mentioned it to Clem, and Jane wasn't there. So, it was, and then she even involved me. She says, we all, Sarita knew you were going to die. I know I'm going to die because of you. Clem knows it. I never said that to Jane. I never said that Kenny were going to get me killed, but Jane just added me into the conversation because she was trying to rile Kenny up from the start. She was mean. She was having to go at his family, his dead family, Sarita and everybody, and using me and everything to wind him up. And yet, worse he did was tell her to grow up and knock her feet off at dashboard. So she had every intention of winding that up to a bad thing. And then even when they came face to face, she left the baby in the car, knowing that would push him over the edge. Now let's face it, I'll be honest with you, if I swore to look after somebody's child and kind of bring it up for them, and I'd swore that, and somebody took that baby away and then came back without it and said it were dead, I would kick their face in. I would jump up and down on their face until it was a smudge. And if that makes me seem unstable, then I don't care. It's a baby, and we know that she didn't care about the baby. We know she left her sister behind and things like that when it got too much. And next minute, she's got no baby. And she knew Kenny was going to flip out, because she even said to her, I'm going to show you what he's really like. So she was planning to push him over the edge. Now, I don't think he reacted badly. He reacted how I thought people should react. I mean, he'd lost his son, Doug, and he was missing him. He said he was missing Doug badly. So here's another boy he can bring up and do it right. And she leaves him out there. But he doesn't know that. As far as he knows, she's dead. If I'd have thought that he were dead, I'd have punched her in the face. I'm sorry, but I would. I'm being honest. So to me, I didn't see that as overreacting. I'd have tried to kick her ass for doing it, especially knowing what she's like. And she at any time could have said, Kenny, stop it, baby's in car, it's not really dead, I'm sorry. But she didn't. She kept winding and winding and winding. She wanted this, and she expected me to shoot Kenny and make the choice to shoot Kenny and leave her alive. She says, he even says, I'm going to kill you, and she says, I knew you would. So she knew she'd wound him up to that point. And then it came to make a decision. So I looked at Kenny. Now, would Kenny punch a guy in the face for nothing? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, probably. Would Kenny shoot somebody who's not a zombie? Hell yeah, no problem. He'd do that. Is he a psychopath in some ways? Yeah, he is. He's crazy in some ways. But Clem knows these things because she's seen the highlights of Kenny and the low times of Kenny. And Kenny wears his heart on his sleeve. So you know where you stand with him. If he likes you, he likes you. If he doesn't, he'll hit you. And Clem knows this. And she was trying to tell Clem what he was like. Oh, he'll never let you go. He'll never let AJ go. She forgets. Clem's known him for a long time. And believe me, the person he is now was the person he was back then. He was still a rough, tough son of a bitch all from start. And she was trying to tell me what he was like. And it's like, yeah, but I know them flaws. I know them character flaws in him. There's nothing new in Kenny, and there's nothing hidden. He might be a psychopath, he might be all this, but would he protect Clementine through anything? Yes. Would he protect AJ through anything? Yes. She even said Kenny will never let AJ go, which were proved wrong at the end. When we stood in front of Wellington, he said, take him into Wellington where it's safe. All it was is he would never let them go unless till there was something safer. Wellington to him was safer than being with him, so he was willing to let AJ go then. That is Kenny. That is the Kenny I knew. That's the Kenny that Jane didn't see and that I knew existed. The Kenny that would sacrifice himself for Clem and for the baby. I don't need him to sacrifice himself for everybody else. I want him to shoot everybody else in face, as long as he keeps me and the baby safe. I don't care about everybody else. We're in a shit world, zombie apocalypse. I need some rough, tough son of a bitch who's gonna protect me through thick and thin, and protect baby through thick and thin. Jane wouldn't. Gets too tough, she'd walk away. If I was surrounded by about 15, 20 zombies, she'd just say to me, sorry Clem, can't help you, and walk away, and then cry about it later. That doesn't do me any good. Kenny, he'd jump in and try and fist fight them all. He'd do anything to try and get through and get us out. That is the person I know Kenny is. And that's the person I need watching my back. So I think Telltale thought it to be a hard decision, but actually it was a very easy decision for me. And that is, I got the right person. I got the person I know I could count on and I know I could trust. So to me, if you look back, Jane had many, many character flaws that showed her to be a psycho bitch. Kenny, he was just Kenny. He was just the same Kenny that pissed me off in the first season. He pissed me off in the second season, and he'll continue to piss me off and get me angry, and I'll scream and shout and be all stressed with him, but he will always protect me. And that is why I chose him. So anyway, that's it. I'm sorry it took so long. It turns out it took about 13 minutes. Well, it's going to be at 15 by the time I'm done. If you stuck with it, you are a hero. You are amazing because you listened to me babble on for 15 minutes. Sorry about that. There's going to be a video coming soon that's going to have announcements on, that's things that are coming up that you can look forward to if you watch my stuff. And yeah, that'll probably be tomorrow. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope I've explained it well now. I hope it's all sorted. And I hope you see why I did it and agree with it. So you take care of yourselves. And goodbye for now, my friends.